Good morning, ghosties and ghoulies. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing another picker pile reading. If you haven't done one of these before, it's really simple. Basically, I lay out 3 piles of cards and I have a significator for each card. I will bring the camera over top so you can have a look at the piles and the significators, and you just use your third eye and your spiritual awareness to pick whatever pile that you're drawn to. And today I have 3 significators. One is a purple butterfly, a purple leaf, and a purple heart. So I'm going to pull the camera over and we're going to get started. If you hear any little sound in the background, that is an air conditioner. It's unfortunately very hot where I am at the moment, so it may be coming in and out, and I apologize for that in advance. But let's get started. Okay, so just take a minute or two to take a couple of deep breaths and kind of get a sense of which pile you're drawn to, either the butterfly, the leaf, or the heart, and we'll get started. So we're going to start with the butterfly. So this is for my butterfly people. All right. Okay. So you may have been in a competition or a feeling of conflict around you. Could be healthy competition. It doesn't feel like a super negative thing, but it feels like there's definitely some kind of competition or struggle that you've been going through, or that you will be going through over the course of July. And part of it is that you're not, I think it might be an internal struggle with you, that you're not happy with the situation that you've been in and the place that you've been in. And if you've been drawn to the butterfly pile, it's more than likely that you're in a transformative period of your life, because butterflies are all about metamorphosis and about change, and change for the better. So transformation is a theme for July. And part of that transformation is coming out of a place where you are just not happy with how things have been. So you may have been feeling like you're struggling more than you need to, and feeling like you're competing with yourself and others around you, and you're really not happy in that situation. So some change is coming, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that you're not happy with the present circumstances. Part of it is that you're a very independent person. The Queen of Pentacles is about wealth, and it's about resource, and it's about also the sharing of those things. So there's a feeling of possibly wanting to have more control over your financial house than you have, and feeling like you've accumulated some wealth and now you want to actually make it work for you and do something with it. So you may have been coming out of a period of competing for wealth and competing for situations that will help you materially. I feel like you're moving in, it's a positive aspect on the Queen of Pentacles, which means that you are actually going to find that over July you're going to have the financial and material ability to do the things that you want to do, and to come out of this feeling of it not being enough, or of things around you not being enough. Yeah, there is a definite feeling of moving out of a situation of where you're really concentrated on wealth and really concentrated on employment and gaining material goods, moving into more of a period of your life where you're going to be more grounded into the earth. There's a feeling around someone around July of, there's definitely a feeling of somebody in the reading that is thinking about retiring or thinking about changing their job, and changing to go in a situation that is less about the money and more about intellectual stimulation, and more about spiritual stimulation and being connected to more of yourself. There's a feeling of having chosen material wealth over your own personal happiness, as far as how your mind is being and how your spirit is being in the world. That you've kind of subjugated that, and you're moving out of that because you've become dissatisfied with it. It can't be about the money anymore. It has to have more to it than just making ends meet. It has to give you some intellectual growth and some spiritual growth as well. And there is a definite feeling of moving into a more, whatever is happening around tradition. It's happening around traditional ways of doing things. There's a feeling of homespunness around this. So some of you might be thinking about moving out of a career that was more money centered and moving into more of a I don't want to say crafting, because it's not really crafting, but it's more of a traditional feeling around things and more of a homespunness. It's like the importance of home and the importance of tradition is going to be playing a larger part throughout your the next part of your life. And going into July, you might be thinking of making some changes around that. And it feels like some of this, for some of you, it's coming because the material way that you've been living in the world, where you've been working so hard to gain money and to gain financial stability and practical stability, is actually starting to cause you to become imbalanced on an emotional level, and to feel like you just don't have enough of an emotional or intellectual life, and you are feeling imbalanced around that. For some of you, there is actually the work that you've been doing is starting to create physical problems for you. So for some of you out there, you may find that you're thinking throughout July of possibly making some changes to increase your health and to make yourself more comfortable in your physical body. There is a feeling, there's definitely a feeling around this of kind of, well, I'll tell you, the Eight of Wands is about envy and it's about jealousy. So it may be something that you're going into this period of your life because it's something that you've always wanted to do, that you've seen other people around you actually have good intellectual lives and good spiritual lives, as well as be able to maintain themselves on a real world and physical plane. But there is more of a feeling of envy around that, and rather than being envious of someone around you, because there's definitely a situation with some of you, with at least one of you, that you're feeling like, how come they can do it and how come I can't do it. The feeling is that there are shifts and things that are happening throughout July that are going to lead you closer to that intellectual center there where you want to be, and spiritual centering that you want to do. And that is going to be good for you as well. The feeling is that you can do it. There is a feeling of wanting to change your path and wanting to change from a very practical, money-focused, material-driven path into a more knowledge-based, intellectual-based path, and feeling that you've been blocked from it till now. I do feel like that is going to change. I do feel like you're going into July and coming out of July a much happier person and much more able to enjoy the wealth that you've accumulated, because it's not so much, it's almost feeling like for some of you, it's not so much that you're so money focused that you're not giving yourself any other pleasure as far as spirituality or social life or intellectual pursuits. You've been so focused on making money that you haven't been able to actually enjoy that money and put it to use to actually fulfill those other parts of your life. I do feel like you're going to be going into July and out of July being more able to actually enjoy your wealth and enjoy the physical and material things that you have gained by working so hard. So things are shifting and changing. I do feel like you need to actually do that for your best mental and spiritual and physical health. These changes need to take place, and you need to become much more centered in your spirituality and in your intellectualism. You're not reading books, you're not doing art, you're not doing things that are fulfilling and feeding your soul. It's great to have, a well-fed body and every little gadget that you want in the world, but there are things that feed your soul that you need to be paying attention to. So your word for July is process. Allow and enjoy the process of your life without rushing to the goal. Experiences are part of the journey. You don't have to understand them all to enjoy the process. Now's the time to look at how you approach and do things. Perhaps make some changes, for what worked for you in the past may not necessarily be the best process for the future. And that is kind of linking into what I've been saying. The working so hard for money and for material things is not is not where you're going to be going. It has worked for you in the past, that material things have made you happy and you found that fulfilling, but you're moving away from that, and you have to let that process happen and enjoy it and embrace it, because it is taking you to a place where you do have an enjoyment, and you do have a better stability around you on a spiritual and intellectual plane, because it's not all materially focused. So that is your watchword and your reading for the month of July for my butterfly people. All the bright blessings. Okay, so this is for my people who picked the leave. All right. If you were focused to the leaf and you were drawn by the leaf, it may be an indication that you need to be spending more time in nature and connecting with the natural world a little bit more than you have been, for your own spiritual and mental help and health. This could be very important for you to be doing, and connecting to it in a way that is feeding your soul. There is a feeling of you have great strength. Your strength comes from kindness. Unfortunately, that your kindness can be taken advantage of, and your kindness can actually become a burden to you, because you are being strong for everyone else, but you're not being very kind to yourself. And you're being kind to everybody else, but you're not being very kind to yourself. So your kindness, which is a great strength, can actually start to become a bit of a weakness. Yeah, and there is a feeling that you've been helping everybody. You've been helping them on a physical plane, on a monetary plane, on a practical plane, and you've been working very hard and not accumulating anything for yourself, but you're helping other people. And it feels like you've been doing this to a detriment to yourself. So other people are gaining from your hard work, but because you're very kind and you're helping them. But this is becoming a detriment to you and becoming onerous and burdensome upon you. So this is a change that's going to happen throughout this month. There is a feeling, a lot of it has to do with home. People around you in your home and your family depend on you. They depend on you for material things. They depend on you for your good advice and your hard work. You are a very hard worker, and the people in your home are actually relying on you more than they necessarily should be. And it's starting to become a burdensome on you, and throughout the month of July you're going to find that is starting to become unmanageable. And there is a feeling that you're going to start to pull away from this period, and going throughout July, you need to start refocusing yourself on your own dreams and your own goals, and stop putting your energy into everybody else. Your energy is your own, and yes, while you pride yourself on being there for other people, you also owe it to yourself to show up for yourself, which you don't do, and you need to do it. Other people can't depend on you all the time. You have to take care of yourself first and foremost before you have to fill your own cup up. If you don't fill your own cup up, you can't help anybody else. It's that airplane analogy where if you're, God forbid, ever in an airplane emergency and the oxygen mask drops, you have to put your own on first before you can save anybody else. So that is your message for July, is to start to take care of yourself. There is a feeling of going through a really rough period throughout July, and going through pain and going through burden and coming through the other side of it. And it can be very hard to see the other side of it, but a lot of what you're carrying around with you is not your own. It's other people's, but because you're so kind, you take these burdens on for other people. A lot of situations over July are going to be ending, and new beginnings are going to be starting to take place. But that is why it's very important, now that you've helped everybody else, to start to refocus in on your own journey and on your own dreams and aspirations. Yeah, you have some, there is a feeling for somebody around, oh, do I want to say that? I guess I kind of have to. There is a negative message, or emotional message coming in, and it may be because you are starting to take care of more of yourself and expecting people to take care of themselves and not depend on you as much. That isn't going to be an easy message for a lot of people to hear, but it's very important that a lot of people hear it, because it is super important to you for your physical and spiritual health to take care of yourself. Now, there is a burden situation that's coming up, and it's coming through very clearly that there is someone in the reading where there is a fertility problem, and you may be finding over the month of July that you're having some problems with your reproductive health. There may be a feeling of, for those who want to try and get pregnant, this might not be the right month for it. You may have a false start. There may be somebody feeling like they are blocked from fertility at the moment, or even actually experiencing a miscarriage at the moment. If you're pregnant going into the month of July, please, 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 whatever you do, take extra good care of yourself, because your fertility is going to be an issue, and reproductive health is going to be an issue over the month of July. So there may be some of you out there. Now, that isn't for everybody, and don't panic if you're watching this and you're pregnant. It doesn't mean that something bad's going to happen. It's simply a message that you need to be taking extra good care of yourself, and stop letting other people burden you with their stuff, because they need to take care of themselves. You need to take care of you. There is a feeling of having a helpmate in this, and having somebody who's already telling you. There's a very strong male energy. This doesn't have to be a man. This can be a male, just a very strong sun energy, and a very strong, it can be a female, but it feels more like a male. And I do feel like this is a partnership bond. And it does feel like this person has been telling, at least whoever's going into this with the fertility problems, that they need to take care of themselves, and that they should be giving themselves first and foremost to themselves. So you do have somebody who's willing to actually stand up for you against and take on burdens that other people are trying to put on you. So don't feel that you're alone in things, but do pay attention. Yeah, there is a feeling of rebirth. There's a feeling of using good judgment. There's a feeling of resurrection around something here. This could be you starting to kind of come out of the doldrums of taking care of everybody else's craps, and starting to actually have your own life again. There's a feeling of that, and there's a feeling of joy around it, and picking up something that you've left behind. It almost feels like, but you do have helpmates in it. Again, if you are having problems going into the month of July, please do take care of yourself, especially females out there who are having reproductive problems. That's super important. And for those of you who aren't in that area of your life, it's a message to not let other people burden you. Now is the time to start laying down those other burdens for other people to carry, that need to carry their own, and you need to start focusing on your own dreams and what you want in your life for your best spiritual, mental, and emotional health. So that is your reading for July, and let's see what your word is. Your word is cooperation. Cooperate with yourself. Don't give yourself such a hard time. A balance to give and take is what is needed. Let go and allow that which is for you your highest good. Now is the time for active participation in group projects. In active cooperation, you can gain much more than you anticipated. Be responsive to all situations. And again, I do feel like that there is a helpmate for you, so cooperation around that. But I think that the major thing here is to cooperate with yourself, and to let the highest good happen for you. And sometimes that does mean telling other people, no, I can't take this on, and this isn't my problem, and don't make your problems my problem, because they're not mine. Sometimes you're going to have to do that, and be responsive in those situations, be recognizing those situations when they come up. And it's fine to say you can help someone and be cooperative with them in that manner, but if it's their problem, they need to be the lead on it, and they need to be the solution to their own problems, just like we all need to be the solutions to our own problems. We cannot be depending on other people to fix what's wrong with us. So a balance of give and take is what is needed, and I think that is very resonant for this reading. So that was my leaf people. And again, the feeling of needing to reconnect to your nature is very prevalent in this reading as well. So if you are feeling stressed out, get out into nature, get out, take a walk, and reconnect with the earth in that way. Even if you only have a few minutes, take your shoes off and go take a walk on your lawn and reconnect your roots back into the ground, because you really do need to start to reconnect that way. So that was for my leaf people. Bright blessings. Okay, so this is for the people who chose the heart. Now, if you are drawn to the heart, you are probably looking at places in your life that are about emotion, that are about connection, and that are about love. And it doesn't have to be romantic love, it can be familial love, it can be friendship, but there's definitely a feeling like this reading is going to be more about emotion and how you're attaching your love to things. So this is going to be good. All right. A lot of dreams, a lot of aspirations, but a lot that has been kind of broken. There's like a broken dreams and feeling like things haven't come to fruition for you. If you are one of those people out there looking for relationship, looking for connection, it feels like you're looking in the wrong places. It feels like and your expectations are very, very high, and you're feeling kind of crushed and defeated by this, and feeling like that person just doesn't exist. There's no one out there for me. The connections, that person that I'm dreaming of isn't real and doesn't exist. Okay. There is a feeling that there is somebody coming into your life, the Knight of Wands, but the problem is that you have blown up your expectations so high that it's hard to see the real person. So you have all these ideas and thoughts about what you want in a romantic partner, and people are not meeting up to those high standards and those high expectations, but nobody is perfect. And that is one of the things that you need to understand. I do feel like there's an energy coming into your life, and there's a feeling of intellect around him for sure. He doesn't always express it in the right way, he or she, but it feels like this is driven more for a male to me. The feeling around you is that nobody's living up to your expectations, and that's something that you're going to have to watch. Part of that is that you are really in battle around yourself and in emotional connections and emotional ties. There's a feeling that you have very, very high, unreasonably high standards at times, and you war with yourself, and you hold yourself to those very, very, very high standards as well, and it makes you very self-critical. Having conflict within inner conflict isn't a bad thing. It can help you work through problems. It can help you see the other side of things, and that's good. But you're not taking it there. That's why the Chariot is reversed. It's like you're fighting with yourself, and you're not letting anybody have the benefit of the doubt, even yourself. So you're very hard on yourself and very self-critical. I do feel like July you're going to be getting back out into the world a lot more, and you're going to be letting the world come in a lot more, which is good, because this period of isolation that we've had over the last 2 years, year and a half, hasn't been good for you. It's actually made you more self-critical and made you more critical of others, for at least some of the people that are listening to this reading. And that may not resonate with you because it may be something that you do not want to see. It's very easy to blind ourselves to our own faults, and everybody has faults, and that's one of the things. If you're not experiencing relationship in your life, and you're not experiencing friendship and fellowship and partnership in your life, a lot of it can come down to the fact that you can't accept faults in other people, and you can't accept faults in yourself. That can be a very hard place, but I do feel like throughout the month of July you're going to be coming out of that place. And it isn't a place that typically we don't stay in that place. Everybody goes through cycles, and this could be a cycle that you've been in. But I do feel like that cycle is ending, and you're letting the world in all its messy glory come in, even though it's not perfect and the people in it aren't perfect. And I do feel like you have an ending. There is a feeling of ending around you. So there may be a feeling of having gone through the death of a relationship. And part of it, I'm feeling like there is definitely someone who's watching this that is somebody who has lost a loved one, or lost a good friend, or lost somebody very, very close to them. And part of what's happened throughout the time since is that you've started to hold everybody to that example of that person that you love so much. But they're not. The people that come into your life, they're not that person. They're not going to be that person. And it's so easy to think of nothing but the good of the people that have passed on in our lives. But they weren't perfect either. And it's almost like you've made this person an icon, and nobody lives up to them. And nobody will, because if they don't even, in reality, they don't even live up to the idealized version that you have of them now that they're no longer with you. Balance. Balance is going to be very important going into July. I feel like you have some changes economically coming towards you, and you have some emotional changes connected to it. I do feel like there are situations that you're leaving behind where you are going to be going in a new direction, letting the world back in, and maintaining the balance around yourself is going to be very, very important for July. You do have love and emotional messaging coming towards you. So I do feel like for some of you, you're going to be meeting a new friend or a new partner, a new love relationship. There is a feeling, there's definitely there's a woman in this reading that you're going to actually be meeting somebody this month that it may not be a romantic love connection, but it's going to definitely be a love connection. It may not be of the romantic nature, but it is going to be a love person. There is definitely romance in July for a lot of you. So, but it's very important, even though you have that coming in, to maintain your balance. Okay? Yeah. And to use your best judgment. It's feeling like, I want to say that this isn't going to be easy to hear for some of you. July is going to be about letting go of your own judgments, okay? And to stop judging everything by this idealized version of what you once had, okay? So that is a hard message for some people to hear, and if you got this message and you picked this pile, you may be going at this point, oh, that has nothing to do with me. I promise you it does, you're just not willing to see it right now. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that things aren't going to shift and change, and things are not going to transform into other areas. I do feel like you're coming out of, some of you are coming out of relationships and going into new relationships. So it's a great transformative period for July. Part of what the Justice card is, like, just be aware of your own judgments of people and try not to judge too harshly and too quickly, because you can miss out on some really amazing things when you judge too harshly and too quickly. Okay? So your word. All right. Be aware of your thoughts. Your thoughts carry a great deal of energy. Choose to create your world with happy, loving thoughts. Be unselfish in your thinking and considerate of others. Now, I just said be aware of what your judgment is on people. Be kind in your judgments. Be generous in your judgments is basically what this is alluding to. Situations may not be what you expect, and may have to do some rethinking. So again, it is about your own judgments. It's about your own thoughts around people, and to not be so, just don't be harsh with people, even though it can be very hard. And that includes yourself, because you judge others, but you also judge yourself, and you judge your thoughts. And sometimes you can't judge your thoughts. I mean, everybody has problems. Everybody has faults. And that includes you. And that includes me. And that includes the people that come in and out of your life. But I think July is going to be a period where you can start to be more aware of when you're judging yourself and others, and to start to embrace kind of maybe opening up that crack in the door just a little bit more than you have, okay? So that is your reading for the month of July for my heart people. And all bright blessings. Well, I hope that was helpful to you, and I hope that you're having a fantastic summer wherever you are. Until next time, stay healthy, stay happy, and don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night, because they're there in the light too.